If you have been struggling to get sales from your design work or understanding what you really need to do to make money, I have the workshop for you. On September 23rd, I'm hosting my first ever Profitable Designer Workshop. This one-day, 3-hour workshop is only $97, but I have a discount for all my podcast listeners. Go to carinagardnercourses.com/profit and put in the code podcast for $50 off. I can't wait to see you more profitable. Welcome to the Make and Design Podcast. I'm your host, Carina Gardner. On this podcast, we're unraveling the everyday joys and dilemmas of design, making, and business. For makers who want to be designers and for designers who are makers, this is your inside scoop to help you grow your business and bring more creativity to your life.
Hey there, today we're going to talk about the 3 reasons you might be experiencing a creative block. Now, I don't really have a ton of creative blocks, and I get asked the question very often, especially on other podcasts, about creative blocks and what designers should do or makers should do if they're experiencing a creative block. And I really had to sit with that for a second and think about it, because I'm like, there's so much in the world to be inspired by. Just get on Instagram, get on Pinterest, go to a museum, look around your house. Like, there is so much to be inspired by. But then I really thought hard about things that actually made it so it was difficult for me to do my design work. And I came up with these 3 things that I think might be going on if you're going through a creative block. And so if you resonate with these things, no, you're not alone. I think these are things that really do cause creative blocks. And I want you to sit with it and figure out the best way for you to overcome these things. Okay. All right. So let's get started. Okay. Number 1, you know the saying, it's not personal, it's business. I think number 1 is it's personal, it's not business. And what I'm saying is there is something going on in your life that is consuming your thoughts, making it so that good, inspiring things and the excitement for creating, designing, making isn't there. So and I almost guarantee this has happened to me when I was going through rough times in our family, that what happens is you are so consumed with making sure your child is okay, that you're making sure a family member is okay, with a struggle or a fight you've had with a relationship you've had for a long time, worries about health of your parents. There are things going on in your life, your personal things, that make it so that you are emotionally drained and unable to create. That is a real thing, you guys. And if you have a block like that, first of all, you have to just give yourself time. I'm going to give you the solution right now. It is time. You need time so that you can get through kind of those emotional endeavors, and give yourself some grace for what you're going through, okay? I have been through this multiple times, you guys. No one is exempt from having emotional strain, struggles, difficulties with family members, and like wanting something more for someone else, or relationships that are difficult, okay? Now, these things can be resolved, but I know, and especially, I'm really close to my Design Suite members. Most of them tell me personal things going on in their lives because they can trust me with it, because they know I will not judge them for it, especially since I've gone through similar things very often. And the bottom line is, if you're having a creative block, then you have something personal going on that is making it difficult for you to move forward, because you're busy sitting in that situation. So you yourself will have to figure out the best way for getting through that for you. But first of all, I would say don't beat yourself up if you're in a creative block during that. Sometimes I find I'm actually more creative when something like this is going on, because the only thing that gets me through is being creative. So if you're that person, oh man, utilize it. Get in there and start drawing. Get in there, get into Illustrator and start making. Get your Apple Pencil out. Like if that fuels you because it gets you through the problem, then use it. Okay. Now, if you're someone though that has been immobilized by it, there's been some emotional damage there, and you're trying to like put the pieces together, sit with it and give yourself time. Okay. All right. Number 2. This one is huge, and I'm seeing it. I'm actually seeing it right now in some of my members. Okay. Right. You didn't set yourself up to win motivationally. Okay. Maybe you set yourself up to win. Like, for example, maybe you were like, I am going to become a designer. Okay. And you joined one of my programs, okay? And then you start taking coursework, and you're really excited, really inspired. You're doing the coursework, okay? And then you like get to the spot, and you're like, you kind of are like left with nothing. You're kind of like, oh man, I'm stuck. I'm a little tired of the work. I'm really like, it's just really, really difficult. So what I would say to that is that if you're having a block like that, the problem is that your motivation is not set up with what your creative endeavors are, right? So like, for example, you need to think about what you are motivated by, okay? So for me, I'm motivated by a lot of things, okay? I'm definitely a people pleaser, and it's always tough, and I find that almost I think all of my Design Suite members are people pleasers, okay? We just naturally are, and I want to hear that I'm doing a good job. That motivates me. If someone tells me, and oh my gosh, my Design Suite members know how to do this for me, and I hope that I'm doing it for them, but they will tell me that I learned so much today, or I got so much out of this virtual conference that you did, or I knew what my next step was going to be after a boot camp, or oh my gosh, I just did this lesson in your Illustrator Academy, and my mind was totally open to a technique I had no idea would make my designing faster. Okay. Like, that lights me up, you guys. That's why I teach. And I didn't teach for lots of years. And when I came back to it, I remembered why I loved it so much, because that lights me up. Okay. When we're in design boot camp, if you're in my design boot camp, we talk about fulfillment, and so many times self-fulfillment, like, that is such a big piece of the motivation equation for designers and creatives. Now, if your motivation is money, okay, and most of us are motivated by money, right? Like, we're willing to do things for money. If we're seeing results from that, we stay usually inspired. That creative block doesn't go away, okay? So I think you need to evaluate what your motivations in life are, especially if you have a creative block and you want to get past it. Are you motivated by money? Do you need people to tell you you're doing a good job? Do you need someone to use your product, whatever you've designed, and them get a lot of enjoyment at it, and you see that? Because many times we don't see it, right? Like, in my silhouette store, I have, you guys, seriously hundreds of thousands of downloads. That means so many people are consuming my thousands of designs, right? But really, it's just very few people who will post on Instagram that they made something with my stuff. Even though I know I have, seriously, you guys, it's probably millions at this point, because I've been doing this for 14 years, people who have downloaded my stuff and have been using my stuff. But there's like 2 to 3 people who consistently post that they've made something of mine, and I'll go see it, and honestly, it lights my heart up on fire. I'm so excited to see it. I'm so excited to see what they've made. And so if that is something that you need, maybe you need to move the needle a little, and maybe also do more things that are one-on-one, right? So like, you're maybe making a quilt for someone and getting that fulfillment back, right? Or creating some art for a family friend or a birthday. Maybe you need to change up what you're doing so that the motivation, the thing that keeps you inspired, keeps it going for you. Does that make sense? Now, if you're in a rut, like if you're one of my Design Suite members and you came to me and you're like, I am in a creative block, then I would probably ask you what your motivation is. And for most part, like, it's like half and half, right? We need those good vibes coming toward us, telling us that we're doing a good job. And then the other half is we need the money piece, right? We want to make a career out of it, okay? So if that's what's happening with you, then usually we have to kind of do a little bit of both, because especially Design Suite members, you're with me for a year, you're only in the first couple of months, and it takes time to learn how to design. There's a reason a graphic design degree is a 4-year degree, because usually it takes 4 years. We're fast tracking it in my program, and so it's hard work, and we're doing it as fast as we can. So the money piece usually doesn't come for a few months in. And then we talk about it all the time, the psychology of that first sale is huge, because that is actually that people-pleasing moment where it's like someone liked this. Someone liked the thing that I made. And that is inspiring itself. And it will get us through the creative block, because when we see someone's made something, we're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to make more things, right? So if you're kind of stuck, just evaluate your motivations. Evaluate what you actually need emotionally, and that will help you decide how to move forward, okay? Number 3 is you haven't surrounded yourself with people that want to continue to inspire you. Your community is not what it needs to be, okay? Now, what do I mean by this? I just did an episode about content consumption, okay? And you don't have to have community in the sense of like people around you all the time. But what I find is that when we are with like-minded people who are thinking about the things that we're thinking about, then that continues to inspire us. There are these little nuggets that happen that really bring us up. That's why I joined my first mastermind over a year. No, it hasn't even been a full year, you guys. A little of like a year ago, basically, I joined my first mastermind, and it honestly changed everything. Because the moment I got in community with people who were trying to play big, who were inspiring me with what they were doing, suddenly I really haven't had a creative block this year. Now, I have come into problems, right, where I'm trying to solve issues in my business, solve issues in my design work, solve issues in my artistic and creative abilities, right? But in terms of like being blocked, that doesn't really happen when you're with people who are go, 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 excited to produce, excited to make, excited to show what they're doing, which is why I have those Design Suite programs, you guys. Like literally, it's because you should be surrounding yourself with people who are trying to do what you're trying to do. Because what happens? You're more motivated to do it. You build yourself up more. And if you're a Design Suite member and you're listening to this, I don't know if you've put in enough into your other Design Suite member community. Like if lots of you guys come to me, which I love being there for you, but have you connected with the other members in our community and making sure that you see them in meetings, right? Because we have weekly and monthly meetings depending on what program you're in. So you can see what other people are producing and get a sense of what can be accomplished. But like, are you connecting in the community with other members to see what they're doing, how they're doing it, and making sure that, you're part of the conversation? Because there is a lot of power there, you guys. Part of the reason I love this podcast is because I get to connect with my fellow designers, with people who are in my community, and I get to talk to them to see what they're doing. That's what you get in the community, and it's totally part of the program. We do that on purpose, right? So look for your community. That will help you with your creative block. Hopefully this helped you guys. I hope that if you are currently going through a creative block, that one of these things you can identify it and take the steps necessary to get over that creative block. If you are not in a creative block, oh man, just keep going, keep building, keep being inspired, keep doing what you're doing. Okay. And if you are looking for something different, something really life-changing, especially as the new year is coming up, make sure and come join me for a design boot camp. That's where it's all started. We don't allow anyone into the programs anymore unless they've gone through a design boot camp, because they have to understand what our strategies and what the programs are really all about. And now we have a replay, you guys, which we didn't have before. This is brand new. So you can actually go on and register and be able to watch the design replay, which is 7 days You get 7 days access so you can watch the whole thing instead of coming to a live. We do have a live coming up in January though, and the lives are very, very fun. Just because you get to be there, you get to ask questions, and it's really, really a great experience. So I hope you get to do that. I hope that if you're in a creative block right now, I'm just a little prayer in my heart that you get through it and that you go away from feeling just like blah, which very much happens, you guys. It happens to everyone. That blah feeling of just like unable to really produce, unable to really create, and kind of figure out what's going on. Do you need motivation? Do you need community? Are you going through something personal? Like all those things really do contribute to our mindset.
Hey, did you know that you can visit me at makeanddesign.com to learn more about this podcast and join my VIP group for weekly freebies? I can't wait to see you there.